Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Special Council Executive Committee for Thursday, 30th of July 2020. I'm Councillor Malcolm Richards. I'm chairing this meeting. So agenda item 1 is apologies for absence. Do we have any apologies?
Mr Mayor, we've got apologies from Councillor John Kaiser. Councillor Wayne Smith is substituting for Councillor Kaiser.
Okay, thank you for that. That's the only one, is it? Agenda item 2 is the minutes of the previous meeting. So it's the meeting of the Special Council Executive from the 22nd of April, which is about, 3 or 4 months ago now. Does anyone have any comments or queries on that? Any corrections they wish to note? None? Okay, thank you enough. Then I will sign those as approved at the appropriate opportunity. Agenda item 3 is declarations of interest. Does anyone have a declaration of interest of any sort? No? Fine, so we move on from that one. Agenda item 4, public question time. Are there any public questions?
Mr Mayor, there are no public questions.
Thank you. Agenda item 5, member question time. Are there any questions from members being submitted?
Mr Mayor, no, we have no member questions.
Good, thank you for that. Now we move on to the main agenda item, which is agenda item 6, Central and Eastern Berkshire Joint Minerals and Waste Plan, proposed submission plan. The aim here is to consider recommendations from the Executive in relation to the Central and Eastern Berkshire Joint Minerals and Waste Plan. The document is quite large, it's about 240 odd pages, but kindly Councillor Wayne Smith is here, and I believe he will be able to give us a brief presentation and set the scene for us. So Councillor Smith, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. As you quite rightly say, I'm looking for this special council this evening to get the items down 1 to 5, which I'll go through in just a moment. This plan has been around for, as I just said at the Executive, it's been around for a number of years. It's been consulted widely with various residents groups, with consultation groups, and via the local planning part. There were a number of sites that were originally way back over 2 years ago in the plan that have been removed, both waste and minerals. And so what I'm asking this evening is for the approval, number 1, for the approval of the plan. And obviously that will take us to a public consultation that will run for 6 weeks from the 3rd of September. That's covered under Regulation 19, or that covers us for Regulation 19. The engagement, as in item number 2, there will be various documents that we will publish for that submission plan. And also item number 3, or phase 3 or part 3, authorise the submission of the plan and supporting documents to the Secretary of State for independent examination under Reg 22. And then last 2 is for any minor amendments, etc., to go via the Director of Place and Growth and the Executive Member for Planning and Enforcement, me, to agree minor amendments to the plan and any minor modifications, i.e. wording, typos, etc. And then item 5, the request of the appointed inspector to recommend the modifications to the joint plan in the event that the inspector considers such modification would make the plan sound. So in essence, Mr Mayor, that's what I'm looking for approval for this evening.
You're muted, Malcolm. Thank you, Councillor Smith, for that explanation. So if somebody asks any questions or any queries, you'll presumably be able to initially field them or whatever. So at that point then, does anyone have any questions or points they wish to raise about the subject here as presented? Councillor Jones.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Smith. It was a long read, 230 odd pages, but I was very pleased to get through it, and there was an awful lot of stuff in there that I think everybody can be pleased to see. It encourages a zero carbon waste economy, with landfill virtually being eliminated. It increases recycling and waste recovery. It tries to manage waste near to where it is created, that is waste from the mineral extraction, which is a reduction in waste miles, which is really, really good. If we're successful in reducing housing numbers across Berkshire, we will need even less aggregate, which would be great. It says, the plan says that it hopes to improve and protect biodiversity and improve biodiversity by 10%. It says that it will protect ancient woodland and veteran trees, and will also protect hedgerows, which is really, really good to see. There's a presumption against any development of mineral extraction development in the Greenbelt, which is really good to see again. And it says that there should not be, as a result of these plans, any increase in flooding risk. What I was really pleased to see was that there was absolutely no mention of Bridge Farm in the plan, Bridge Farm in Shinfield, Swallowfield, Arborfield, or of the other site that was being talked about 6 months ago. So that is really good. Our residents there are going to be absolutely delighted that this is not in the plan. But can you just confirm that when we've approved this, when all the other councils in Berkshire have approved it, and when the whole plan, I assume, has to have some sort of government approval, but if it still remains the case that these gravel extractions, sand extractions in the south of the M4 are still not included, they haven't been put back, that they can't be put back in during the life of this plan. Would that be your understanding of it, Wayne?
That would definitely be my understanding, Clive. I mean, I'm not aware that, unless, that's why we've got in the executive, you see all these statements of common ground, because it's so important we have all those in place, because you're quite right, if we don't build as many houses, we won't need as much raw materials, etc. But no, I can't think of a way that once we've got this approved and we've gone through Reg 19, we've got it rubber stamped and stamped by the inspector, unless there was something major happened, I can't see that they would come back on the table.
No. Well, that's great then. That is really good. There was another point that I missed out. It's on page 100 that it talks about development of Heathrow, but as that is getting more and more unlikely, then there is less likelihood that so much aggregate, sand and stuff is going to be needed for an extra runway at Heathrow as well.
Yeah, I think you're right, Clive.
Yeah. Okay, that's all my questions. Thanks.
Does anyone else wish to make a comment or ask a question on this?
Yes, I'd like to. I follow on from Clive. Can we absolutely confirm what the deadline or the schedule is of getting this document finalised, and then exactly how long would it last from until. And it does follow on. We've got minor tweaks being proposed, if there are any minor tweaks that can be delegated. What sort of things do we mean by minor tweaks? If something big like the Bridge Farm came in, I can understand that, but is there anything that would be considered small enough to be delegated? I just need to understand that.
Shall I? Yeah, Lindsay, in the past, when we've had various items, it's just been clarification on words, typos. There's enough, obviously, if for example, a major site come back on the table through the consultation, let's just think about this. If through this consultation, something else was to crop up, and we went through a process of looking at what had come through after the 6 weeks, and then decided that that needed to go back through the process. I hope that's not the case. Then obviously that wouldn't be a minor amendment, that would be major. And if it included any sites that we've already discounted, because there have been a number, not just the two you mentioned, Clive, and I would see that it would just be very minor items. And once we get through the consultation, then, as you know, the plan then gets submitted as a joint venture with the rest of the local authorities to the inspector. I don't know currently how that has been impacted by COVID. I know that the inspectors have put delays on some of the planning appeals of up to 12 months. So hopeful that we would get it in by this time next year, but there may be a delay. And then from then you get the normal, once it's approved, it will then be in the cycle. So let's hope that we can get it in by this time next year and get it approved.
So that suggests that the only means of anything getting added in now is during this 6-week consultation period. Once the consultation period is finished, that is the last opportunity for anybody to do anything. Yeah,
so for example, yeah, let's just take that to the next stage. So over the next 6 weeks, starting on the 3rd of September, we will go out to consultation. If it's all minor stuff and there is no major stuff coming back to us, then at that point we will take it to the next stage. If it is major, we will have to go back through the process. But don't forget, if it is major, we would have to agree to that major stuff. I mean, if somebody just come back and said, oh, we want Bridge Farm back on the table, and for what reason? So we could discount that and move to the next stage. But I don't know what might crop up. I'm not expecting too much to crop up. As you quite rightly know, the site that came in on the Basingstoke Road cropped up. But the due diligence wasn't done by the person who put it in. So therefore, you know, we didn't take it forward into this plan. We went through a consultation and then we decided it wasn't fit for purpose, so we moved on. That might come back, but if it does come back, you know, we do have the power to review that through this consultation period. But I'm not expecting, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm saying I'm not expecting. I would hope that we could move forward on this plan after the consultation, and I'm sure that will be the way residents want to take it, because residents have been very interested, as you know, Lindsay, not only in the sites, the site at Bridge Farm, the site off the Basingstoke Road, but also the Star Work site. I think that was the most attended of all of the various consultations we've done.
Yes, I was at one of them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we had one at the church and one in the Melville Village Hall. They were both very well attended.
Yeah.
Thank you, Luke.
I echo Clive's words. I think there's been a lot of good work done here. It's taken quite a while, but these things do. And it's a fingers crossed getting through the process and getting it all signed, sealed and done. And so just to confirm, exactly, if it gets confirmed sometime in 2021, does it last for 10 years?
Well, it can be like the local plan. It is reviewed every 5. So potentially there could be a review. Let's say, as you say, 21. It could be reviewed in 2026.
Was there that 5-year review? Because I was on the council in 5 years ago, and I don't remember it coming through. And I remember when this waste plan came, we were all scrabbling around trying to work out somebody who'd been around when the last one was done.
It's a bit like the local plan, Lindsay. The local plan that gets adopted next year, that would take us to 2036. But you do have this 5-yearly update. So,
Okay.
so you can keep it fresh.
Okay, thank you. That's me done.
Just final round then. Does anyone else have any questions or comments to make before we go to the vote?
Yeah, it's actually a good job that they haven't got so much soft sand, as they call it, at the Star Works. If they had as much soft sand as they have clay for bricks, then it might have been different, and they might have been interested in trying to get the soft sand out. But so that little bit of geology helps us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay then, at that point,
Good
if I
point.
go sorry.
I said it's a good point.
So at this point then we're ready to go to a vote. There's only a few of us to go then, so I'll just work my way around asking individually. So Councillor Lindsay, are you in favour of this in terms of a vote? Are you for or against? I think you're muted.
Okay. Yes, we're voting on all 5 points, aren't we? Which is yes.
5 as a block. 4. And Councillor John Halsall?
For.
Thank you. Councillor Clive Jones?
For.
Councillor Wayne Smith?
4.
Thank you. Is Councillor Baker? No. So on that basis then, this is approved, it's carried. Thank you, councillors. And that is the only item, last item on the agenda. So that's also the end of the meeting. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you, Wayne.
Right, thank you.